Wherever he laid his hat was his home. Well, I have to say that I didn't really want to make a record. Tony Smith said, why not do a Motown covers album? I've always wanted to do an album of covers, you know, and I'd always loved Motown. That was my life. That was how I grew up. Went to see bands at the Marquee every week, twice a week sometimes, and then bought the records and then took them back to the school band. You know, we kind of learned all the songs and did it at school shows.
The brief right from the beginning was I want it as close to Motown as possible.
My idea was to make an old record, not make a new record.
A lot of guys do Motown covers, and they kind of change this, and they kind of adapt it to their own thing. And he went the other direction and wanted to be as absolutely accurate as possible.
The funny part was actually to hear the track, and then suddenly his voice is like, wait a minute. You know, it's all because, this is the music I grew up with.
If you're going to sort of snowplow through all the subtleties, you just get an average song. It's going for the little details and the idiosyncrasies that make up the thing.
Just a little inflections, very minor things, but they were important to recreate it precisely.
And with him, this is more of a historical perspective. It's like, you know, every single detail of it, you know.
I don't want to over-intellectualize it. I didn't want to bring anything new to these songs. I wanted it to sound the way it did, and the way, to me, it should sound, you know.
He's done an amazing job of recreating these tracks, you know.
Even in the sound of the record, these recordings sound just like the Motown ambiance from the old days.
I really enjoyed the demo process, you know, doing it all at home. It was, you know, just learnt a little bit more each day. I might have it there. And just piece by piece, you know, get guitar sounds and just try to listen to it and listen to it over and over again.
It's actually, I mean, that sort of gives you a different appreciation for it, really. Because when you really look at it under the microscope that way, you know.
I mean, it's like a brain puzzle, you know. It's like playing a video game, but it's much more fun. And I came out of the whole thing with tremendous respect for the way it was put together. I don't like you, but I love you, see them I mean, every record I've done has really been my demos, and then people brought in very, very carefully, searched at the door for any ideas. And if they come up with any ideas, they're sent home, you know. This is what I want, okay? I don't want that, I want this.
Okay, I'm straight.
I just plunged straight in and asked Bob Babbitt if the Funk Brothers would do it. He said that they would love to do it. Then I sent in the demos, you know. And slowly the bad news filtered through about this chord. Actually, it's not this chord, it's that chord.
There it is. Yeah.
We are so happy to be here and to keep the name going for all the Funk Brothers.
This is another opportunity. They're proud of this, you know, and they're playing this, and they're reminding people, you know.
We came here and we threw down.
what's nice is to hear the licks played by the guys, not somebody trying to cop something.
Those guys have a sound. You can't duplicate it. You can't imitate it.
Sometimes when you used to listen to the old records, you're going, is that a guitar or is that a snare drum? You know, guitar originally was a percussion instrument. It was just used as a jink, 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 jink.
Yeah, man, fantastic. Slowly but surely, I kind of got demos that I used to say to myself, you know, if I die tomorrow, I'm proud of this.
It's all about the vibe and how it all feels when it all comes together.
It doesn't matter whether you go stag up. It doesn't matter whether you go drag up. You sure to have some fun.
Sometimes it's like it's in the air even. You just know when it's right.
Doing some of the vocals on the record was fun, too, because we got a chance to emulate some of the people we grew up listening to, so that was really, really cool.
We reviewed everything more than once or twice. I mean, Lynn Fidmont, she sang with Stevie Wonder, and when we did Blame It on the Sun, she came in and said, nice. That's not actually the right notes, but it's nice, it's great. I said, what do you mean it's not the right notes? I spent 3 weeks doing that. You know, layering voices. And she said, no, we did this on stage. So we came and redid it. And it does make a huge difference when it's the right notes.
And, you know, a lot of us have played these songs with a lot of people over the years in a lot of different keys and a lot of different styles, and you kind of learn some bad habits along the way.
And sometimes, you know, if someone was struggling, I mean, Eddie would have better days than others.
Okay, I'm screwing up like hell already.
We're gonna check that chord, Eddie, against
F major?
Yeah, we might have the impressions chord, and we might not have Phil's chord.
What I thought was so wonderful was that he'd say, you know what, I'm going to stand out here. I'm just going to stand out.
Tones, Eddie.
I lost my thing, man.
It was beautiful
I
to
lost my thing.
have that kind of attitude, and honest. The next day we were doing Going Back, which was pretty open and required da, da, dum, dum, da. Well, he did it in one take. And I just looked at him, I said, man, you know, you just nailed that. Yeah, sound good, you know. I didn't actually know if I could play anymore. First time playing since my problem. We just did a trial session here one day, and first thing I hit, a stick flew out of my hand because I lost all strength in my left hand. I had to gaffer the stick to my hand. So I had this Dr. Strangelove kind of thing, where I'd be walking around with a stick taped to my hand. I love this way of recording. We did 9 songs eventually, and then we did the rest of them. And I think the angst had gone a bit, and I was able to play for a bit longer. Page 1 of the drum fill book. I just don't know why I don't know. So I've had the operations now. I had one on my neck and one on my elbow and one on my palm. And still I can't feel a fucking thing. But they tell me in time it'll get better.